So now we're going to practice graphing a quadratic function. So we're going to give you 5 steps for graphing a quadratic function. First of all, it's going to be in this form, f of x equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Now, it doesn't always come in that form, but for right now, that's the form we're going to talk about. So you have to decide if it's right side up or upside down. So does your parabola go like this, or does it go like that? And the way you'll know is if a is greater than 0, then it's right side up. And if a is less than 0, then it's going to be upside down. So think, hey, if a is positive, it's happy, smiley face, And if a is negative, then frowny face and upside down. Okay, or however you want to think of it. Then you have to find the vertex. That's going to be critical. Because if you don't find the vertex, it can get a really nice little graph can get really messed up. You can get these huge numbers and so on and so forth. Because you might be saying, well, couldn't I just always do a table of values? You could, but you want to get the right values because they go up very quickly or they get small really quickly because of the square. Okay, so that's what you have to be careful of. Then they suggest that you find the x-intercepts. Now, if the x-intercepts are easy to find, great. If they're not, and they'll generally, if it's in this form, they're going to be pretty easy to find, but they're not always integers, okay? You can approximate them and work with it that way. I'm sure we'll have to do at least one like that. And then find the y-intercept. Whoops. I didn't talk about how to find the x-intercept. So if you want to find x-intercepts, you set the function equal to 0. We've done that before, but I just thought I should mention it again. And if you want to find the y-intercept, you're going to find f of 0. That's usually pretty easy to do. You're just plugging 0 in and you calculate the output. And then last, find other points as necessary. So we like to have at least 5 points for these functions. At least 5 points total. That includes the vertex and the x-intercepts. Okay. And remember, if you find a point on the left of the axis of symmetry, or then you know one on the right and vice versa. Okay. So let's see what we can do for this one right here. Okay. So look at A. Step 1. Look at A. Is it going to be a right side up or an upside down parabola? It's a -2, so it's going to be upside down. So we're expecting the parabola to look something like that. 2, find the vertex. Okay, so remember the vertex is HK. I think we already said that, but I'll just write it again. So in this case, my H is 3 and my K is 8. So that's the vertex. Sometimes I just put V for vertex. 3, 8. So I'm going to go and I'm going to graph 3, 1, 2, 3, 8. And it's way up there. Okay, that's really important. Now that we know where the vertex is, that can help us know how things are going to go. We know it's upside down. All right, 3. We're supposed to find the x-intercepts. Well, how do we do that? We set the function equal to 0. So -2 times x minus 3 squared plus 8 equals 0. Subtract the 8. We're not going to multiply everything out. We're going to do this the easier route. Divide by -2. Whoops, I already divided by -2. Okay, sorry. It was a -8. Sorry about that. The 8's coming on the other side, -8. Divide by -2. You get x minus 3 squared equals 4. Okay, great. Now you can take the square root of both sides. But remember, it's plus or minus. So now you have x minus 3 equals plus or minus 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. All right. Doesn't want to scroll. All these new tools I have, they drive me crazy. Okay. I don't know why it won't scroll. Doesn't want to give me any more room. I don't know why it won't let me have more room. I guess it's at the end of the page. Okay, so you have x minus 3 equals plus or minus 2. X minus 3 equals -2. Okay, add 3 to both sides. So x equals 1. That is an x-intercept. So it's right there where x equals 1, right there on the x-axis. You can plug it in and make sure. And then you have x minus 3 equals positive 2. Add 3 to both sides. You wouldn't even really have to do this because you know the axis of symmetry is coming right through here. We usually make the axis of symmetry with a dotted line. Okay, so we know there's going to be a point here because 2 to the left, see 1, 2, you know there's going to be 1, 2 to the right because it has to be symmetric about the axis of symmetry. Okay, but you could also figure it out this way, and that is the same point. Okay, so where x is 5. All right, so that's 3 points. Now we want to find step 4, we want to find f of 0. So you plug in 0, negative 2 times 0 minus 3 squared plus 8. Now, sometimes this is a really large number and isn't useful to us, but let's see what happens here. Okay, so I get negative 18, because my negative 3 squared was 9, negative 18 plus 8, which is going to be what, negative 10? Okay, so I know there's a point 0, negative 10, like right there. Okay, that's fine. And because I have the axis of symmetry, I know where the vertex is. I know that, see how it's going 1, 2, 3 points to the left? I can go 3 points to the right, and I have to have a point right there. And that's 5 points, and that's great. And so my axis, or my parabola looks like that. Now, you could use other points. You could have used like some points, in here, like let x be 2 or 4, and then, that could have found you more points also. But this adequately graphs the function.